Venezuela is a country sitting on one of the greatest energy treasures in the world. Oil. It holds the largest proven oil reserves on Earth, even more than Saudi Arabia, with over 300 billion barrels stored deep beneath the Orinoco Belt. This incredible amount of oil has shaped the country's history, its economy, and its relationship with global powers. For many years, oil made Venezuela one of the richest countries in Latin America. The nation depended heavily on oil exports to support its economy. But this dependence also made it vulnerable. When oil prices fell, Venezuela's economy weakened. Corruption, mismanagement, and political conflict made the situation even worse, eventually leading to one of the most severe economic crises in modern history. So why does the United States care so much about Venezuela's oil wealth? The reasons are both economic and strategic. First, oil is central to America's energy security. For decades, U.S. refineries processed Venezuelan crude because it is located close to American shores and is easy to transport. Having influence over such a major oil source is important for long-term energy planning. Second, Venezuela is closely aligned with U.S. rivals like Russia, China, and Iran. These countries invest heavily in Venezuela's oil industry. For the United States, gaining influence in Venezuela limits the power of these rival nations in the Western Hemisphere. Third, Venezuela's oil fields were once home to major American companies like Chevron and ExxonMobil. Political tensions and nationalizations pushed many of them out. Regaining access to these resources would be economically valuable for the United States and its corporations. Finally, political instability in Venezuela has caused millions of people to migrate to nearby countries, and the U.S. government often frames its involvement as an attempt to restore stability and reduce regional pressure. Over the years, the conflict between the two nations has grown through sanctions, diplomatic pressure, and competing political interests. The U.S. says it wants to support democracy. Venezuela claims the U.S. wants control over its oil. In reality, it's a mix of geopolitics, economics, and power. Today, despite its struggles, Venezuela still holds an enormous amount of oil. As long as these reserves exist, powerful nations, especially the United States, will continue to watch, influence, and compete for control. Venezuela's oil wealth is not just a resource. It's a key part of global power and strategy.